So you're thinking about moving to Northville, Michigan. Well, in this video, we want to give you a rundown of Northville and what it's like to live in Northville, Michigan. Hello. So you are thinking about moving to Northville, Michigan. My name is Matt Talbot. My team and I help people just like you every single day move here to the Northville, Michigan, Southeast Michigan, and the surrounding community areas, and we absolutely live for it. We get calls, texts, and emails literally every day of people that find us on YouTube that actually want to move to the area and have different questions, concerns, and want to learn a little bit more about the process. If that's you, please comment below, send us a direct message, or fill out the Calendly link on our YouTube page. What's that called? On our YouTube landing page, and you can go ahead and schedule that Calendly link today for more information with our team. So Northville, Michigan, you're thinking about moving to the area. You want to understand a little bit more of what it's like to live in the area, a little bit about what Northville is like. In this video, I want to take you through a little bit of my experience being local, but we want to take you through a little bit about the culture of Northville, a little bit about the school system, a little bit about what you get when you live there, so you can have a better understanding. Now, we have lots of other videos on Northville, Michigan, so make sure you check those out. Some tours, some video tours, walking around downtown, some of the real estate inside of houses, all that great stuff as well too. And so go ahead and check those out as well. However, in this video, I want to give you an overall rundown of living in Northville, Michigan. First and foremost, location and accessibility. I always like to start a lot of these videos for people moving from out of town of where places are on the map. So Northville is a very, very central location. One of the reasons why it's so highly sought out. And it is actually along the 275 corridor. And it's about 25-30 minutes, depending where you're at, up to maybe 35-40 minutes west of Detroit. And it's about 25-30 minutes east of Ann Arbor, Michigan. And it's a very, very central location. It's along the 275 corridor, which runs north and south. And one of the reasons why people like Northville so much is because it's easy to get to Detroit, easy to get to Ann Arbor, and easy to jump on 275, which can take you downriver all the way down to Ohio. You can continue to go north onto 96, head over to Brighton, or get all the way to Lansing, or go east on 696 as well. It takes you out to Troy, Royal Oak, Birmingham, all those good areas. So Northville is a very, very sought out community for some of those reasons, and location is one of the biggest factors when choosing a place to move to or to live in for a lot of people. So that's why Northville is so sought out. One of the major reasons is location, and there's a lot of other benefits which we'll jump into next. Next up on our video is the size and community itself. So the city of Northville is really about 6,000-7,000 people in the city itself, and the city is downtown Northville, and then surrounding that is Northville Township as well, as a lot of Southeast Michigan communities are like. So you have the city and the township. The township itself is really close to 30,000 residents, so in total you're 37,000 total residents in Northville City and Northville Township. And so that community is a very, very diverse community, and there's a variety of different landscapes and different places to live and different varieties of homes as well too throughout those communities. So between the city itself and the township, depending on if you want city living, that small town feel where you can walk to shops and restaurants and all that stuff, bars and everything, or if you want to be more in the township itself, have a little bit more land, sometimes you want to be in a subdivision or actually on acreage, Northville Township has that available for you as well too. So our video of downtown Northville is a great video to go and check out if you want to see what downtown Northville looks like. And we also have one on the township as well too, where we give a tour of several different price points throughout Northville Township, so you can see the bang for your buck as far as size of homes in that area. But again, about 30,000-40,000 residents between the city and the township itself. So good size area, good size community, and has a lot of diversity throughout of it because of that. So going back to that city and township idea, right, is the city itself, for a lot, at least in Southeast Michigan for the most part, you're going to have these downtown cities, and a lot of times you're going to have townships around it. Some cities, like Canton, will only have the township, but for the most part, and some only have a city, but a lot of these bigger areas have both a downtown area and a township, okay? So a city like Livonia, as an example, that's just a city. The whole place, the whole square miles of Livonia is just the city itself. And then places like Canton Township, the whole thing is just a township. So it's 36 square miles is how most of those townships are shaped, okay? And so in a city like Northville or an area like Northville or Plymouth or some of the other surrounding communities, you're going to have the city of and the township of, in this case, Northville. So the city of, like I said, it's more downtown stuff. So there's going to be shops and restaurants and bars and a lot more happening. And a lot of times, at least here in Southeast Michigan, for something in the suburbs like this, they're usually an older city. So Northville dates back to the 1800s. It's been around for a very, very long time. And so back in the day, you had all this farmland, right? There's all these different farms and stuff like that. But someone needed to come into town to get your shopping done and, have your drugstore and the doctor and all that stuff. So literally the evolution of the area had started with a lot of these old towns from back then. And because of that, we've sort of established this breakdown between the city and the township. And the major differences are going to be on your taxes and your local government. Those are going to be the two major differences. So typically the city itself has a little bit higher taxes because you get a little bit more things, right? You're walking distance to stuff. There's more parks and different things happening in the city than in the township. Not always, but typically you're going to be a higher tax rate. Like in Northville, it's definitely a much higher tax rate to live in the city compared to the township. But again, it all depends on your flavor. Some people don't want to live on top of each other. Some people don't want a little city lot. Some people don't want, that city living and people all over the place. And that would take them more out to the township in a subdivision that's a little bit more spread out. Maybe you like the idea of living in a subdivision for your kids, or, throughout Northville and some of the other surrounding communities here as well too. The townships, again, are much bigger. You can get acreage, 1 acre, 2 acre, 5 acre, 50 acre lots if you'd like in some of these areas as well too, which takes you a little bit more rural. So the taxes are going to be different and the government's going to be different as well too. Like currently, as an example, in Plymouth, which is just south of Northville, there's a current millage going in for the city itself, and that's going to be to vote on a little bit higher taxes for the property owners in the city of Plymouth. And that money they're going to raise, I think it was like something $20-30 million out that tax increase to go ahead and put into parks and recreation, and that is for the city. If the township wanted to do that as a separate occurrence, they could, and that would affect their parks and recreation system as well. So it's all voted in depending on the residents. And when you have these bigger areas with a higher volume of people, it's a good way to kind of diversify and split that up a little bit. Next up on our list is education and learning in Northville. So, as a licensed realtor in the state of Michigan, there's only so much we can really say as far as schools. We're supposed to kind of hold our lips a little bit tight there, and we're not supposed to say, hey, this school district's way better than this school district, or I recommend this one, or don't go here. We're not supposed to steer you to a specific district one way or another. That being said, Northville is always a very, 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 I should say it like 25 times, sought out school district in Southeast Michigan, okay? One of the reasons for that, and these are just statistics that I'm listing here, is they have a 17-to-1 teacher to student ratio, which is a really good ratio comparatively throughout the state. So, a lot of these schools are 25, 30, 35-to-1 ratio, so that's a good difference. But the education system, the public schools in Northville is very, very highly sought out. There's also some local private schools as well too in Northville Novi area. One is Catholic Central High School. It's an all-boys school, very, very sought out as well too. So schools are crazy sought out in Northville. This is actually from Northville Public Schools website. They have a 96% high school graduation rate. So almost 100% of the kids that go to high school at Northville graduate. A lot of people moving to the area, they specifically ask to be in Northville schools, which for the most part means that you are in Northville city or township. Sometimes you can be in Northville schools and not be in the city or township. There's parts of Salem Township as an example that will have Northville schools. There's technically you can have a Plymouth address technically and be in Northville schools, as well as South Lyon and be in Northville schools. There's some weird boundaries, especially on the west side of Northville and the cities that they border, which are South Lyon, Salem Township, Plymouth. Those are the major cities that they border in that direction. And then same as far as north. Sometimes you could actually be in a different school district and have a Northville or Novi address as well too, as well as east. So once you get into Novi, you can have Novi schools, and then even the far north side of Novi is actually Walled Lake School. So when you're looking and understanding, if you're looking for a specific school district, depending on your research, you should really have your real estate agent dive deep into that and let you know, hey, just because this is a certain city or township doesn't mean it's lined up with the schools, and vice versa. I think sometimes people put their home search up to maybe they really, really want Northville schools, and they just put, Northville, Michigan as the only part of their Zillow search or their search through the real estate agent. And really, they should be checking the box of Northville schools, because you could have a Salem Township address or potentially a South Lyon address that would be aligned with Northville schools, which is really what they're sought after. offer, and other than that, they really don't care. So understanding those specifics in any given market is very important. I think a lot of people kind of disregard needing a real estate agent until they find a house, and there's a lot of reasons why you should have a good local agent on your search to make sure that no rock gets left unturned if you're thinking about moving to the area. Up next on our list is recreation and parks. So again, depending on the city and the township of Northville, there is a plethora of different parks throughout downtown itself. So the city itself has a lot of different parks that are walkable, a lot of different playscapes and stuff for the kids, some different areas to explore, and a good amount of walking trails. And the township has a really wide variety of fun stuff to do. One in particular is Mayberry State Park, which is in the township of Northville. It's a 1,000-acre state park. It has miles of walking trails and camping and hiking and all that good stuff, and it's right there outside of Northville. Also, other parks like Cass Benton is a big one, and then another area throughout Northville. It's mostly the township and actually almost rolls into the city. There is a road, and it's called Hines Drive here in Southeast Michigan. Hines Drive, don't quote me on this exactly, but I'm pretty sure it dead ends about in Northville and goes all the way down river past Dearborn and stuff. And so it has been developed that way for a very, very long time. It follows the Rouge River and some other stuff. And so they've kept that area along Hines Drive not developed. So there's no homes, there's no subdivisions, there's a huge amount of parks. I mean, miles and miles and miles of parks all the way down Hines Drive. And that rolls into Northville. In my opinion, Hines Drive in Northville is like the best part of Hines Drive. It's absolutely gorgeous. There's disc golf courses over there. I mean, huge rolling hills and trees and stuff for jogging and walking and riding your bike and all that stuff. And that's throughout the township and actually right outside the city. If you can actually walk there from the city and end up on the walking trails and stuff like that as well too. So Hines Drive, Mayberry State Park, Cass Benton. I mean, there's some other ones as well as smaller ones in the city itself. I mean, it's full of that stuff. There's a reason why this area is so sought out. It's because there's a lot of variety of houses depending on what you're looking for, a lot of variety of budgets, obviously good schools like we already talked about, and then this general landscape of things to do and just a good sort of small town community with that township feel with a lot of parks and recreation as well too. Also, not really parks, but Northville has a very high variety of cider mills as well too, which is big. It's actually, we're rolling into the fall when we're shooting this video right now. Cider mills are huge. Cider and donuts, a big Michigan fall thing. People absolutely live for it. Also on this channel and some of our other channels, we did a whole cider mill tasting. So we have a variety and rankings of our cider mill favorites as well too. But it's one of the perks of living in Southeast Michigan is the quality of those cinnamon sugar donuts and the cider in the fall time. Up next on our list is cultural offerings in Northville. So there's a variety of different offerings that you have when it comes to art and theater and stuff like that throughout Northville. There's some stuff going on when it comes to museums and different places to check out as well too. Actually, the previous section I forgot about Ford Park. That's right downtown. That's a really cool area. It's right downtown. It's surrounded by trees. There's baseball and stuff going on. Anyway, sorry, ADD kicking in there. So cultural offerings. The Tipping Point Theater is one we wanted to note here. They have a lot of different performances coming out of there, as well as Mill Race Village, which is a historical museum made up of the building dating back to the 1800s. There's 10 different buildings for the Mill Race Village and Historical Museum, which is right downtown there. So the downtown area has tons of history as well too. Water Wheel Building is a cool building they recently renovated, and some others as well too in downtown Northville. Again, it's an old city, so downtown Plymouth and downtown Northville both go back to the 1800s. Like I said, way back in the day, these are little small towns, like, you know, horse and buggy days type stuff, right? And have evolved since then. So some good history and some good museums happening down there as well too. Another one to mention is probably the Marquise Theater, which, you know, does different, it's a nonprofit, does different events as well too in downtown Northville. So Northville has a variety of different options when it comes to theater, you know, art boutiques, different shops and stuff like that as well too, as well as some of the surrounding communities. So not only in downtown Northville and the township itself, but you can shoot over to Plymouth and they have a lot of historical stuff as well too. There's different options all throughout Southeast Michigan here, without a doubt. And like I said, it's pretty easy to get downtown Detroit. So growing up in the general area here, going to school here was very beneficial because there's a lot of these different museums and stuff to check out. There's a lot of rich history. Then again, you're only about 20-30 minutes to Detroit and about 20-30 minutes to Ann Arbor. So when you're part of these school systems, or if your kids are going to be part of these school systems, having the ability to check out these theaters, go to local stuff, go downtown Detroit. There's an unlimited amount of stuff in Ann Arbor as well too. Henry Ford Museum over in Dearborn. This is stuff that you do growing up in the area, and there's a ton of history because of how old Detroit and the community is here, as far as stuff to do and things for the kids, whether it's throughout school or on your own in the summertime, what have you. It's really unlimited. So go ahead and do your research, but wanted to note that without a doubt. Without a doubt, since I'm speaking on that currently, without a doubt, if this video is providing any value, and definitely if you're thinking about moving to the area or you want to learn more about living in Southeast Michigan here, please hit subscribe and tap for notifications. It is a shameless plug because I'm so proud of what my team's able to do and help execute people. We actually got a message at like 4 o'clock in the morning from someone overseas today, of someone that wants to move to the area, and another one yesterday. It was actually a real estate agent that's been following our channel down in Florida, so thanks so much for that referral. They like our content. They have someone that wants to move to Detroit, and we are so unbelievably thrilled to help them. We live for that. We get those all the time, and we're very, very happy to help execute. So if you're thinking about moving to the area, tap for notifications, hit subscribe, or send us a message at any time. Love to connect with you. We appreciate that opportunity without a doubt, and I know from the bottom of the heart that we will do the very best job for you locally here. So it is a shameless plug. Moving on. Up next on our list is economic landscape and housing diversity. I want to mix these two. I'm going to roll through some statistics here. Flourishing local economy with a median household income of $130,000. There's also a variety of different job sectors as well in Northville and the surrounding communities when it comes to Wixom and Plymouth and Southline and some manufacturing, lots of auto stuff, some technology, lots of healthcare stuff as well too locally here. And then also the housing diversity. So the housing mix is 57% single family homes, 33% apartments, and 10% townhomes. So not just nice homes to purchase, but there is some nice rental options as well too. My team and I typically don't deal with rentals. If you're moving to the area and you really need some guidance, we can definitely point you in the right direction. We typically just deal with the buying and selling of real estate locally here. However, there is a variety of options, so you could get into a rental for a year or two if you needed to. Moving to the area before you were to purchase is definitely an option for you as well too. So very affluent area, pretty high household income as far as that compared to local markets here as well too. So great area for a lot of reasons. We want to give you a quick rundown on that. Okay, up next is family-friendly atmosphere. So I want to be very specific and quote statistics that we pulled up here. Family-focused city with 33% household having children under 18. That was from a website that we pulled. So 1/3 of the population are actually children. So there's a lot of kids in the area. I'm not supposed to discriminate on any areas. Just to note that based on family status, it's a law here in Michigan. That's not my intention, but I want to just state statistics as well too. And then also a crime rate. We pulled from a local crime website as well too. Northville crime rates is low, making it safer than 77% of all U.S. neighborhoods. So really, really safe local neighborhood variety when it comes to family options as well too. If you are someone of the family, if not too, it's a great area. So not everyone has to have a family to be in Northville by any means. It's not the only reason to move here. However, it is family friendly for a lot of reasons. The parks, the schools, there's a lot of good things happening in Northville. I can't argue that. It just is the facts. So Northville, Michigan. Hopefully this gives you a rundown of what it's like to live in Northville, Michigan, a little bit more statistics, a little more bit understanding. Like I said, we have other videos that dive deep. I think sometimes as people say, show me the houses or show me the neighborhoods or walk me through it, we have those videos out there as well too. But sometimes I think there's a value for moving to the area to really just dive deep and talk about statistics, get a local, person's knowledge of the area and kind of just chat through what that looks like. However, hopefully you learned a little bit on the area. My name is Matt Talbot. My team and I help people just like you every single day move to this area, and we absolutely live for it. Thanks so much for checking out our video. And again, one more shameless plug, hit subscribe, tap for notifications.